Hi, my name is Paige Stockwell, and I am a student at Lake Superior State University. For my undergraduate research, I worked under the advisement of Dr. Christina Olson-Pupek. My research is centered around further exploring the relationship between judgments of learning, or one's individual belief of their memory ability, and recognition with font sizes and font colors. The reason I chose to look at font sizes and font colors as opposed to other possible variables was due to the previous research conducted in this area. Font size has been used in judgments of learning studies before. However, color I had not seen, so I thought it would be interesting to see the effect color has on this concept in addition to recognition. I took 5 colors, black, red, yellow, green, and blue, and made combinations with 12-point font size and 48-point font size to see how these stimuli would influence judgments of learning and recognition. What I expected to see was that black and blue font sizes would have higher judgments of learning and recognition, as would 48-point font size. So, judgments of learning are used to assess individuals on how well they think they've learned particular content. This is so we can make predictions about how they will remember the content later when cued. Judgments of learning fall under a category of metacognition called metamemory. Metamemory is a self-awareness of memory performance that is important in understanding how people learn and use their memories. Another area of metamemory that is similar to judgments of learning is judgments of knowing. This concept is often used in students when studying. Students often make judgments of how well they have learned assigned material to make predictions of how well they will perform on test material later. So, better understanding this process could be useful to help those in education, or even to help students study more effectively. Recognition is the ability one has to identify familiar situations that they've encountered before. Recognition is under the category of declarative memory. Where recognition differs from recall is when an individual recognizes that a situation is familiar, but they may not be able to recall the meaning as to why. In my research, individuals are assessed on recognizing if a word is familiar to them from having seen it before. Now, previous research I have seen studying judgments of learning and recognition together was rather inconsistent in results. Font size has been used often by many notable researchers, such as Rhodes-Castell in 2008, who used it for making predictions of cued memory performance. Other researchers, such as Hu and fellow researchers in 2015, Halamish in 2018, and Undorf and Simdahl in 2019. All used font size as a variable to study judgments of learning. However, all these results varied from font size having no influence at all to small font size having the absolute most influence over all others. Or on the flip side, to big font sizes being the only one to have any kind of influence at all. I thought to add to these studies using font color. Color, however, was pretty difficult to find previous research in when relating to judgments of learning. The most notable study I came across when looking at previous research for color was the Stroop test. And I found many other studies that looked at how colors associate with meanings and everyday life. For example, that red is associated with meaning stop and green with go on a traffic light, or that colors have certain associations like green associated with health, white associated with purity, or even colors associated with emotions like blue is calm and red is angry. Though multiple studies that I had found when looking at color and recognition or memory at all yielded very unclear results. One study even saying that it is still not known how color is memorable at all. Now, before we jump into my methods and results, I want to revisit my hypotheses. I hypothesized that black and blue font colors would have higher judgments of learning and recognition ratings. I also hypothesized that 48-point font size would have higher judgments of learning and recognition ratings. For my study, I had an N sample of 30 college students. All were 18 years of age or older, and some were given extra credit for their participation. Originally, I had 35 students participate. However, 5 were lost due to missing trials for all the combinations of colors and sizes. Each participant completed their demographic survey, which included their initial rating of how well of a memory they think they have. I created the stimuli presentation on an online software called LabAdvanced. Each individual was presented with 40 trials of random combinations of the stimuli in the form of random words, after which the participant rated on a scale of 0%, meaning no confidence, and 100%, meaning full confidence, how well they believe they would remember this word later. After these 40 trials, participants were given another 80 trials of random words and asked if, yes or no, they remembered them. The data was analyzed using a 2x5 repeated measures ANOVA. The independent variables evaluated were font color at 5 levels and font size at 2 levels. The dependent variables were judgments of learning and recognition. As for the judgments of learning, there was no statistical significance to indicate that font color had any influence. However, font size did indicate significance with a p-value less than 0.001. On this slide, you can see that I have a graph that indicates the mean and standard deviations for all the combinations for judgments of learning. In addition to, you can see the p-values for the color font, size font, and the interaction effect. For recognition, the results had no statistical significance that font color or font size had any influence on recognition. On this slide as well, you can see the graph that I had made to indicate the means and standard deviations for each combination, as well as the p-values for color font, size font, and the interaction effect for recognition. These results suggest that larger font sizes influence higher confidence in an individual's memory ability. This yielded a little support for my hypothesis and agreed with previous studies of larger font sizes influencing higher judgments of learning. These results may be interesting to individuals in education by benefiting students the most. Though no colors indicated an impact in whether judgments of learning or recognition, larger font sizes may influence the confidence a student has in remembering their assigned content when studying. However, it may not exactly influence their memory performance. Due to limitations of this study, the results should be taken with caution. The sample size was small, so increasing the amount of participants could yield more accurate results. One of the reasons that the sample size was so small was due to the software I used. LabAdvanced, though it was easy to understand and great for what I needed it for, the random presentations of variable combinations made it so not every individual had the same amount of presentations, and some even missed representations, bringing the sample size down to participants who had representations of all stimuli. More limitations included only using a few color options and font sizes out of a wide range, and having more combinations could have clearer results. Increasing the number of presentations of variables could allow for more data collection to analyze for patterns. Future research should expand on all these limitations, and it should also look at the kind of software that they're using to see that it includes every kind of presentation of stimuli that's needed. Future research could also complete the study with individuals with memory impairments to see if their results differ from individuals who are considered without impairments. Thank you for your interest in my research, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your conference.